You ever stop to think about the power of simple words? We're often told that to sound smart, you need to use big, complex words. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a hidden system, a kind of code, that's designed for absolute clarity using just a handful of the simplest words? Well, today, we're going to uncover it. And we'll start with a word you probably see almost every single day.
Now, really, think about it for a second. How would you explain what a cloud is to someone? It sounds easy, right? But trying to be both simple and precise, that can be a real challenge. And as we're about to find out, the definition of this everyday thing holds a really fascinating secret.
So, to dig into this, we're going to break down one single word, cloud. And we're using a definition from a very specific place, the Simple English Wiktionary. Now, this is not your standard dictionary, and you're about to see exactly why that matters.
All right, so the source breaks cloud down into its two main jobs. First, as a noun, a thing, and then as a verb, an action. Let's take a look at both and see how this one little word does so much work. First up, the noun. The definition is pretty much exactly what you'd expect. A bunch of water vapor in the sky that can make rain. But just notice how direct that is. It explains a whole scientific concept using only the most basic words you can think of. There's no jargon, right? It's just super clear. And the example sentence they give, it just paints this perfect picture. Those dark storm clouds are quickly getting closer. It's vivid, it's effective. But here's the cool part. The power of this word doesn't just stop with the weather. It actually expands into a more metaphorical idea, a group or a swarm of something. Same simple word, but a totally new context. And this example, the cloud of locusts, it's perfect. You instantly get that image of this dense, moving mass. This is the kind of versatility that's packed into one small, powerful word. Okay, now let's look at the verb. This table shows all the different forms. And the thing to notice here is just how consistent it is. Cloud, clouds, clouded, clouding. It's a totally regular, simple verb. There are no weird exceptions, which makes it incredibly easy to learn and to use the right way. So what does it mean as a verb? Well, the first definition ties right back to the weather. To cloud means to get foggy or gloomy, for something to be blocked from your view. And the example is so simple, it's beautiful. The sky clouded over. Just 4 words, and you get a complete picture of a change in both the weather and maybe even the mood. It's incredibly efficient. And you guessed it, just like the noun, the verb gets a more abstract, metaphorical meaning too, to make something obscure or harder to understand. This is where you really see simple language doing some serious, heavy lifting, tackling these complex, intangible ideas. The example here is just fantastic. Don't cloud the issue. We've all heard this, right? It means stop introducing confusing or irrelevant stuff. You're not talking about the sky anymore. You're talking about an argument, a problem. So here's the punchline. All of this, the clarity, the double meanings, it's not some happy accident. You see, while we were looking at that Simple English Wiktionary page for cloud, we noticed this little note right at the top. It's a clue that changes everything we just saw from a simple definition into a piece of a much, much bigger system. And there it is. Cloud is on the Basic English 850 list. And bam, suddenly everything just clicks. The simplicity wasn't just a choice for a dictionary entry. This word was chosen. It's part of a special curated list of words. 850. That number right there, that's the magic number. The entire system of Basic English is built on a core vocabulary of just 850 words. Each one, just like cloud, was carefully selected to be powerful and flexible enough to express almost any idea you can think of. Okay, so what is this Basic English thing anyway? Well, it's a simplified, controlled version of English that was designed specifically for clear international communication. Every single word on its 850-word list was picked for the exact reasons we saw with cloud. It's versatile, it's easy to get, and you can use it as a building block for much more complex thoughts. And that really brings us to the bigger idea here, the power of simplicity. Understanding Basic English isn't just some language lesson, it's a lesson in communication itself. It shows us that clear language is a deliberate, powerful choice. But, and this is a really, really important distinction, we have to understand the difference between simplicity and being simplistic. Simplicity, like we see in basic English, is all about clarity, precision, and making ideas accessible to more people. Being simplistic, on the other hand, is just vague. It lacks detail. Basic English is always aiming for the first one, never the second.
So when you boil it all down, the goal here is actually pretty powerful. Systems like this are designed to do some amazing things, to build a solid foundation for learning, to communicate really complex ideas without confusion, to break down barriers between people, and ultimately, to make information and knowledge accessible to absolutely everyone.
And that leaves us with one last question. For you, we've seen the power of this hidden system at work, so now think about your own world, your job, your hobbies, your passions. What's a complex idea that you know a lot about that you could make clear and powerful just by choosing simpler words?